even.
Todd, your defense struggled to get off the field on third and fourth down. You just talk about that tonight, 55% of conversions allowed combined.
It's like you said, defensively, that's where it was. He was making some plays with his feet. We'd be in position. He out-athleted us, and they did a good job on third down, keeping it in third and short and him making plays.
I think some of the in routes seemed to be a little bit of a problem tonight on defense. Why do you think that was?
Well, some of them were scrambles, and we were losing our guys, and we had position. Either we didn't rush the passer the right way, and he broke the pocket. I know the last one he got on third down, we had bad position from the start. We should have been in better position that way.
Can you tell us what happened on the fumble down by the goal, by your own goal line there after you get fourth down?
Got to see the tape, but I know we were supposed to run a jet sweep, and I don't know whether it was the handoff or after the handoff they got discombobulated. Can't give up field position like that and give them that kind of position.
And then you're down there on your own goal line. It looked like Graham snapped the ball too soon. Is that what happened?
Yeah, he snapped it. Nobody else was ready, and we lost yardage there. So that kind of hurt us too.
With the way the defense was having a hard time getting off the field, when you guys went to kick that field goal prior to that, was there any thought to going for it?
There was before the play, before we went backwards. Once we went backwards, we had to tie the ball game.
You think it was a case, Todd, today where more plays you didn't make or give Washington credit for making plays?
You got to give them credit. They made plays. I mean, he's been making them all year. You got to give them credit. They made some plays. We had our chances to make some plays that we didn't make, but it was a combination of both. They made plays, and we didn't make the plays when we had the chance.
That's the fewest points I think you've scored since maybe like San Francisco. It's been a couple of months. So what was not happening for you offensively? Just not having the ball enough or what?
We were shooting ourselves in the foot on first down with a lot of penalties in the first half, whether it was holding or offsides or whatever the case may be. We wasn't giving ourselves a chance. We turned it over with the field position that way. It felt like we never got in a good rhythm.
Mike Evans had a really tough matchup this week against Marshawn Lattimore. I know that was billed a lot this week. It seemed like he really performed really well on the heels of his record performance last week. What can you say about the job Mike did tonight?
I mean, it's two great players going at it. Mike's a great player. Marshawn's a great player. Mike made his catches. I'm sure Marshawn won a few, but Mike's effort and what he continues to do for us is amazing.
Todd, tonight and all season, your defense really struggled to get any turnovers at all. As you look at this season now, an offense that was in the top 5 in the defense and couldn't get off the field tonight and couldn't force turnovers. Is that kind of how this season kind of played out for you?
It's rare for us to have a season without a lot of turnovers, but we had them and we didn't get them. That's something that we need to be a good defense. Obviously, we've been doing it in the past. We didn't do it this year. We got to do a better job at that.
Why do you think that was this year?
I mean, it's a lot of things. We got to make plays. We got to go for the ball. Obviously, there's a different guy back there starting every week. It can be a myriad of things, but the bottom line is we got to get turnovers.
You're kind of stunned about how poised Daniels is as a rookie, Todd, in a game of this magnitude.
No, not really, because you've seen it all year. He has no conscience. He's a heck of a player. He lives in the moment. He lived in it every game this year, so he had a lot of experience and a lot of games under his belt to play like that.
What made him so good against your blitzes tonight?
He's an athlete. He can get away from things. We have him set. We set the edge, and he can get around the edge. He's a very good athlete.
Todd, what was your message to the team in there?
Proud of the way they fought. Obviously, it's disappointing. We don't want the season to end like this, but we don't point fingers. We had our chances. We had our chances to win this ball game. Obviously, it wasn't good enough. We think we have a very good football team. When everybody's clicking on all cylinders, we got to be clicking on all cylinders. So the effort was outstanding. We hung together all year. We've been through some things, and we got to eat it and take it on the chin. We got to get better in the future.
How optimistic are you about the core group of players, young players here going forward?
It's a great core group going forward. Very optimistic about those guys. Just got to keep people healthy, add to it, and clean up some spots, and I think we'll be fine.
You get the fourth down stop, obviously, that was huge. And then the turnover right after. Is that kind of the game right there in a nutshell?
Well, it was parts of it. Obviously, it was a situation of that. There were other things, too. Obviously, with the penalty when we had the ball down there as well, there were chances we had to win this ball game that we didn't make. There were different chances in both halves, whether it was offensively or defensively, to win this ball game. That was just the latest of a few things that we had.
What do you say to Baker after that? Because certainly, knowing him, he's beaten himself up over that.
There's nothing to say to him. He's your bell cow. You know, when your bell cow takes a shot and something goes wrong, you got to live with that. You know, they're human. We're going to make mistakes, and he got us here. You know, we wouldn't even be here without Baker, so there's really nothing to say to him.
Todd, you had Jamel Dean for about half, and then he ended up re-injuring that knee. How big was that of a loss when he was out?
It was huge from some of the things we tried to do and wanted to do. Kind of did a good job getting the fourth down stop in the red zone. Then it came back on fourth down. They got the touchdown there. But Hayes fought hard, and he played, and we've been doing it all year, so there's no excuse there.
Speaking of fighting hard, Levante David seemed to do a lot of that tonight. I think he got nicked up as well on the sideline there, but just what can you say about his effort?
He did toward the end. He's been putting in a yeoman effort all year, obviously, to play 13 years like that and lead the team in everything that he was doing mentally and physically. I'm sure it's wear and tear on his body, but he's never showed it, and he's never said anything about it. And you couldn't have a better year. We couldn't ask for a better year from him.
At the end of the game, kind of a haphazard use of timeouts there. With a minute 50, looks like you called timeout, but it went down to 1:40, I think it was. Could have called it earlier, and then you didn't call the timeout after the next play. What was the strategy there?
Well, after the next play, it only needed a yard for the first down, so we had to let it play out, and we had to use one there. Before the last play, we wanted to call timeout. We wanted to see where they were trying to call timeout, and we had a personnel problem, so we called it later than normal.
What's your confidence level, Todd, with Winfield to get him back to being the impact player we saw in 2023?
Confidence is great. Just got to get him on the field. You know, we got to get him on the field. He was hurt in the beginning of the season, then he got hurt toward the end of the season. We hadn't had him out there much, so just having a full off season, having him healthy going into the season, I think he'll play the way he played a year ago.
You guys, you lost a lot of close games this year, including tonight. You won some too, but what's the key to getting over the hump on some of these?
Situational football, just understanding and finishing at the end. Sometimes it's just making plays. You know, sometimes we're in position. Kalijah had him on the fourth down play. We lost that one. I mean, it's just making plays. We got to make plays.
Good.
Yep.